hundreds of single ladies lined up to marry me, but I chose the one. No, not her. Yes, her. Her face is cursed with scars they say will kill anyone who looks upon it.
My stepsister pushed me into a fireplace.
It's just one of her many attacks on me.
No one will ever see her again. It will be as if Alessandra never existed.
I was given a mask and shunned from society.
To survive this hell, I need to escape, or I will surely die here.
Understood? Desmond quickly shook his head, unable to use words thanks to the grip on his neck. Any more tighter, and Edgar just might break it. What part of this was being civil? Good. Edgar released the Baron's neck with a shove. Look at you, all disheveled. He fixed Desmond's shirt, smoothing out the ruffled parts. Desmond kept his head down, bearing with Edgar harshly patting his shoulders to smooth out his clothes. Never in his life was he so embarrassed by someone coming into his house and treating him like he was not the owner. I don't look forward to you being my father-in-law. There's so much I had to kill you for, but since you are loved by your daughter for some reason, I shall keep you alive. Do you understand what I mean, Baron? If Alessandra's love for you runs out, I shall consider killing you. I understand, Duke Edgar, said Desmond. I am handing you the opportunity to correct the mistakes you made with her. See to it that you do not ruin this for her. As much as Edgar disliked the Baron, he could tell Alessandra was longing for positive interaction from her family. And from what he witnessed today, the Baron was the one she was most likely to get it from. He was putting the task on the Baron to ask as a father in 2 days, and to shield Alessandra from the two women. Whether or not Alessandra would like her father's newfound interest in her was completely up to Alessandra. Alessandra and her father could either have a heart-to-heart moment where the Baron apologized for not properly protecting her, or Alessandra would see there was no hope for her family. Edgar, would you? Desmond trailed off when he heard footsteps walking away from him. He looked up to see Edgar walking back to his carriage without saying goodbye. I should have just hit him when he was here, Desmond muttered. He can only act like this because of his name and the king. Does he think I'll let him get away with treating me like a fool inside of my home? Where on earth is Alessandra? Desmond went back inside to look for his oldest child. She had not told the truth about what she discussed with the Duke at his party, unless she was going to say Edgar fell in love with her at first sight. What? Desmond cursed. Alessandra wore a mask, covering half of her face. She had ruined her beauty a long time ago. There were countless beautiful young women like Kate for Edgar to fall in love with. Alessandra! Desmond yelled after finding the dining room to be empty. Katrina had brought the plate of breakfast for nothing, as it was still on the table untouched. Alessandra! His voice thundered through the home. Yes, Father? Alessandra came from the direction of the kitchen. She was going to let Mario give her warm food until she heard her name being called. Now that Edgar was gone, everything would go back to normal. Care to explain to me how this union between you and Edgar came about? Do not talk about love at first sight. Am I not beautiful enough for Edgar to fall in love with me at first sight, Father? Remember when I was younger, you would parade me around and show everyone how beautiful I was. Alessandra smiled, remembering the faint memory. That was before... Before this? Alessandra touched her mask. It was. What a long time it has been. Everything changed after that. You cannot blame me for what happened, said Desmond. I blame you for not taking control of what happened afterward, Father. And yes, I blamed you for what caused it. The Duke did not fall in love with me at first sight, Father. Such a thing would never happen. Alessandra truly believed her words. She was many things, but not a fool. Then what was said between the two of you? Tell me everything from the beginning. Desmond's curiosity had become unbearable. He had to know what Alessandra did that Kate could not after all these years. I already told you what was said, Father. I do not know why the Duke picked me instead of Kate. I'm sorry the daughter you wanted with him was not chosen. Is that all, Father? Is there nothing more you have to say to me? She was waiting for him to truly state what he planned to do about her engagement. Alessandra already knew he would do everything in his power to somehow get Kate to take her spot. To her surprise, he said something completely different. All eyes will be on you, Alessandra. Do your best. What are you going to eat now? Desmond was doing just as the Duke instructed him to. Although he was angry with Alessandra about a few things, now was not the time to grill her when Edgar was so adamant about killing him. Alessandra was unable to respond for the first couple of seconds. She did not get the reaction she was expecting. Therefore, she did not know how to react. She wondered if the Duke said something to her father to make him act like this. I am going to the kitchen for warm food. I see. Forgive Kate and Katrina for the things they have done. You have to understand their point of view. When you are done, go back to your... Desmond had to quickly stop himself. He was making the mistake of sending Alessandra back into her bedroom to be out of sight. Do whatever you want. Understand their point of view? Alessandra wanted to laugh in his face for saying such a ridiculous thing. Why did she have to be the one to understand everyone's actions towards her and have to forgive them? Why couldn't everyone else admit their faults instead? To see her father have no shame in saying these things was disgusting. Her father was only trying to play nice to avoid Edgar's wrath. I picked a good man, she thought, as Edgar was doing a good job in shielding her so far. Edgar handed her the opportunity of 2 days where her family had to play nice to her. They could do nothing in those 2 days. For when the Duke arrived to collect her, should there be anything out of place, he would take his anger out on them. Alessandra accepted the illusion of having a family who got along with her for 2 days. She wanted to see what life would have been had she not been outcasted for most of her life. Even if it was all fake, she would enjoy it to the fullest. Thank you, she replied to her father. It would be fun to mess with them while they could do nothing but hold in their anger and smile. A perfect ending to their ill-fated relationship. After these 2 days, she would completely cut ties with her family, ending on a fake good note rather than arguing. Excuse me, I'm going to find Kate and Katrina. Alessandra watched in amusement as her father turned his back on her to go plot with Kate and Katrina. Edgar was right to not let her come stay with him so easily. There was so much fun for her to have here. Kate, you must be out of your goddamn mind if you are thinking of digging a hole. She has no right to order you around. Get up. Katrina bent down to pull Kate up from the ground where Kate was squatting. Mother, we only have to play nice for now. Father is going to find a way to make me be the one to marry the Duke. Kate shook off her mother's hands and continued to dig. Ah! She yelled, falling to the side when an earthworm popped out of the dirt. That is why I said to get up, Kate. Katrina stepped back as she too was afraid of the tiny creature. This is ridiculous. This is so gross. This better all be worth it in the end. I am not letting her take what's mine. Kate used a stick to fling the worm from in front of her. Father already has someone he's going to marry Alessandra off to, so she can't marry Edgar. Really? He never mentioned anything to me, said Katrina. You wouldn't have kept your mouth shut if I did. Kate, Alessandra is going to the kitchen. Get someone else to do it. Desmond didn't like seeing his daughter looking like a servant. You there, Kate called out to a passing maid. She was more than happy to make someone else do the dirty work. Finish digging this hole with your hands right away. Did Edgar leave, or is he in the kitchen with Alessandra? I want to have a word with that girl. You can't, Katrina. The Duke made it quite clear if we mess with her in the 2 days she's here, he will kill both of us. I wouldn't take his words lightly. Desmond coughed, still feeling Edgar's grip around his neck. Play nice with her. Katrina couldn't believe Edgar threatened to kill her. She placed her hand on her forehead as she almost stumbled backward from the shock. Wasn't it enough that Alessandra stole Edgar from Kate? She must have placed a spell on that man. Is she really cursed? I told you we should have thrown her out long ago, but no one ever listens to me. What do we have to do now, Father? Edgar seems to be wrapped around her finger if he threatened you. Alessandra must have cursed him. Kate was starting to believe that more than anything else. Desmond didn't believe it like his wife and daughter, but he couldn't understand what was happening. He was starting to question if the Duke really did fall in love with Alessandra at first sight. I can't allow Alessandra to go live with the Duke on her own in 2 days. She's going to live with him? In his big mansion? Kate exclaimed, taken aback by this news. Father! She whined, stomping her right foot repeatedly. It wasn't fair Alessandra would get the luxury of living with Edgar. I'm going to send you there with her as an escort. That is the only way I will allow Alessandra to go with him, and it's the only way for you to get close to the Duke. This is your last chance, Kate. If you mess this up, there is nothing else I can do for you. You must seduce Edgar while you're there. It would be better if I became pregnant with his child. He would have no choice but to take me instead of Alessandra. We all know the Duke isn't going to sleep with her, and he's still a man. He needs someone to lay with, Kate suggested. She didn't mind sleeping with a man like the Duke when she wasn't wed. Kate? Katrina wasn't so sure of this. It was best for Kate to keep her virtue. I agree with Kate, Desmond said, ignoring the fact that Kate would be sleeping with someone when she wasn't married. He found the whole virtue thing to be ridiculous now. She just needs one try to get pregnant. We wouldn't have to worry about her virtue as she'll end up with the Duke. As much as Katrina wanted Kate to be with Edgar, she preferred to continue with the principles she raised Kate with, to only sleep with a man she was married to, or else she would be ruined. Are you sure you can do this, Kate? Of course, Mother. His only other option would be Alessandra. Do you really want her to become the Duchess instead of me? I will seduce the Duke and have his child. It would help if his mother would come around. She likes me. Kate recalled her run-in with the woman. Due to chasing around behind Edgar, Kate had met his mother once before, and after a short conversation, his mother was rooting for her. I should start picking out my finest dresses now. Excuse me, Mother, Father. Kate, you have to finish burying the kitten. Don't do anything stupid these 2 days. Desmond was worried for his life. and didn't trust Kate to understand the gravity of the situation. Do this first. Let Alessandra know you are done, and then start packing. Yes, father, I will get the kitten. Kate was so excited to go live with the Duke that she had forgotten her plan to get revenge on Alessandra for making her dig a hole with her bare hands. Kate hurried off to go to Alessandra's room before she would return to her bedroom. The dead kitten wasn't the only thing she was looking to get. There was something else valuable in Alessandra's room that deserved to be buried. Do you really think I would let her get away with stealing what belongs to me? Kate opened the door of what she liked to call the vilest room in the home. It belonged to someone who should never have existed. Oh, that stench is horrible. She covered her nose as the faint scent of something horrible filled her nose. It wasn't hard to guess where the dead animal was. Her room is disgusting. Where the hell is it? Kate opened Alessandra's closet, looking for what she truly came for. Her eyes lit up as she found what she was searching for right away. Why are you holding onto the dress of a woman who ran away and left you here, Alessandra? Kate took out Alessandra's mother's wedding dress from her closet. It was no doubt a beautiful dress, but something like this was not suited for someone as gloomy as Alessandra. Kate was doing her a favor by getting rid of it. It would have been perfect to show Alessandra the dress getting buried, but she was meant to play nice. This took away a piece of the fun, but it still felt good. Kate quickly closed back the closet as she had found it and grabbed the box with the dead kitten. The stench no longer bothered her now that she was going to get her revenge. Kate wrapped the wedding dress around the box as she hurried back outside. Reaching the door leading outside, she peeked outside to make sure her parents weren't still standing where the hole was being dug. They're gone, she smiled. She was glad they had left, or her father would have stopped her from doing this. Kate approached the maid, who was still digging out the hole with her hands, to drop the dress and box into it. Cover that up as fast as you can. But, my lady, this is... What gives you the right to question me? Do as I say, or I shall have you fired. If anyone asks who went to get this box, I shall tell them you did. And what will you say? Awaiting the obvious answer. I was the one who got it, the maid sobbed. Wonderful. You people do have common sense after all. Now, hurry. Kate stood with her arms folded, excited to see the dress be buried.
What will happen when Alessandra discovers her mother's wedding dress is buried? What secrets is the Duke's mother hiding? And how will she impact Kate's plans? Will Alessandra find a way to outsmart Kate and secure her place as the Duchess?
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.